Kelele mwekane kuma kekone kafilo tanya bo akia amakona ole no nyi o feile no mekele no chekai oboka na de muya kyamunya tono lo kowa o manake wo kowa hey boy mu ma wo kowa wate ya manake e wo kowa no kowa como manake wo kowa hey boy mu ma wo kowa wate ya manake e wo kowa toya
money na man, everybody wanna drama. Talking about youth empowerment, they talking blah blah. He riding air condition car, he wear his dark glass. Say he keep the liberated people, he's a bad guy. I can see it from his face, I can tell it from the bar look. The way the nigga looking back, don't be no hard joke. The law make her rich, but they say they sick and die broke. The youth traumatized, that's why they getting high more. In LIB, you know that's two things involved.
It leaves no stone unturned. It asks the hard questions. It uncovers every secret that's worth uncovering. Liberia's upliftment is its prime objective. The program is nothing to hide. It digs deep into the minds of the guests and brings out the facts. Nothing to hide. It will addresses no issue. It sees no sacred cow. It believes that a government or nation of the people must not work in secrecy. It's on Sky 107.1, Monday to Friday, 3 to 4 o'clock p.m. If we love Liberia, we will be sincere in our dealings with one another. It leaves no stone unturned. It asks the hard questions. It uncovers every secret that's worth uncovering. Liberia's upliftment is its prime objective. The program is nothing to hide. It digs deep into the minds of the guests and brings out the facts. Nothing to hide. It will addresses no issue. It sees no sacred cow. It believes that a government or nation of the people must not work in secrecy. It's on Sky 107.1, Monday to Friday, 3 to 4 o'clock p.m. If we love Liberia, we will be sincere in our dealings with one another.
Good afternoon and a pleasant welcome to another interesting edition of the program, Nothing to Hide on Sky 107.1. We are here again this afternoon. Today is the 16th day of August 2021. My name is Matthias Labindi, and this afternoon we are looking into CARI again, the Central Agricultural Research Institute, CARI. This afternoon we're privileged to have with us the acting officer in charge of CARI, Dr. Victor Harris Small. He's here. Dr. Small is in charge of CARI now, and certainly he inherits all of the problems that are there. So it is his responsibility to find an amicable solution to solving the issues confronting CARI. On the other hand, Dr. Nyakwe Joma is a man who has been raising a series of concerns against CARI, that CARI owes, alleging that CARI owes him $30,000, about 18 months' salary. Dr. Joma has complained about bad labor practice meted against him by some former heads of CARI, including some high-profile individuals in government. Is it possible that we get to a closure of this matter today? We hope so. And it's good that we have the two individuals in studio. And you two can join us on Sky Communications Liberia Facebook page, on YouTube, Sky FM and TV Liberia, so that we can have this conversation. We'll be right back after this break. That's right. You're listening to Nothing to Hide on Sky 107.1. Today is the 16th day of August 2021, and we are here again today. My name is Matthias Labindi. This afternoon, we're privileged to take our microphone, our investigation to Kari, and look deep into Kari, what's going on there. We have with us the acting officer in charge of the institution, Dr. Victor Harris-Moore. We also have Dr. Nyakwit Joma, is an employee there. He's currently the acting head of livestock department there at the institution. So Dr. Joma is the man who has been raising issues against the institution. So we're going to give him the time first to summarize, some of the issues that you've been confronted with at Kari, and the acting officer in charge. If there's a need to respond to anything from there, he's going to, weigh in on some of the points that Dr. Joma is going to be making. You, the public, to enjoy the conversation. Dr. Sumo, good afternoon. Welcome.
Good afternoon. It's good to have you.
Thank you. Thanks for joining us this afternoon, Dr. Joma. It's a pleasure once again. Good afternoon.
Thank you, Labindi. I'm glad I could be in the studio to throw some light again on issues at Kari.
And this time around, you're sitting face to face with your boss.
Indeed.
That you're seeking solutions from.
Definitely.
So let's begin on this note. Yeah, you've highlighted a number of things. We do not want to be the one repeating some of the things you've said. Can you just summarize for us, quickly, why we are at the point that we are now?
Okay. Thank you again. And it's a good thing to be here this evening so that Liberian people again can be abreast of development at Kari. I joined the family of Kari sometimes 2011, 2012. And interestingly, my current director, Dr. Sumo, who sits opposite me, was there. I met him there. And we are good friends. We still are. He is a very good friend of mine. And it's going to be that way. And sometimes 2012, through the MacArthur Foundation, they awarded scholarships to Liberia. They wanted 2 persons. And we're blessed to be victorious after we went through the vetting program. And we had the opportunity to go to the University of Ibadan.
In Nigeria.
Yeah, in Nigeria, where I earned a Master of Philosophy and also a doctorate in human-animal disease transmission from human to animal, animal to human.
Yeah.
And then I've been there all along until 2018, I returned. Now, when I got to Kari, this story has already been known. What I'm going to say, I'm just going to give a synopsis.
That's why I need you to do that quick so we can move.
So when I got to Kari, there were some issues and some money matter was in the pipeline. That's just one of the many issues. And I was asked to be a signatory to this account of $500,000 United States dollars.
What year was that?
That was 2018. 2018, yeah.
But you joined Kari in 2012.
Yeah, 2011.
Okay.
Yeah, and so I wasn't. And given the role I play as head of program, I had to make a decision and something at least that would put national interest, that of personal interest. So I did a communication. In fact, that prompted my open letter to His Excellency, President George Manneh Weah, for his intervention. So I did an open letter, and I did a letter to the MacArthur Foundation requesting that they put a hold on the monies because I wasn't a signatory. And trusting someone with responsibility is a great thing. Integrity counts.
So the money did not come?
No, the money did not come. Not to my knowledge, it did not come. So that was.
No, you're not aware whether the money came or
not. It did not come.
Are you confirming that the money did not come?
The money.
You sure of that?
Well, the money did not come because I did a communication and I was contacted by the previous OIC that my boss succeeded.
Paulette Finlay.
But Dr. Joma, why you had to stop the money from coming? I said, well, I did not stop the money. I only wrote the institution telling them that I wasn't a signatory. And until they come and validate and verify, I don't want to be into problems. So I told them to withhold the money.
So from 2018, you've been having issue with your salary because of this position you took?
Actually, 2019. 2019, it commenced 2019.
The salary issue started?
The salary issue started. And so because of that, there was some purported plan where Dr. Joma is so technical. If he's here, he's going to stop a lot of things from coming in. And so...
A lot of things like what?
Well, things probably that may not be conducive. You know, in fact,
does Kari have a criminal cabal that you were the only saint amongst them that's fighting to
Well,
get rid
I
of them.
wouldn't want to say a criminal cabal, but things weren't going as they should have. And you listen to the story of the containers that got stolen. It hit the front page African newspaper all over Liberia. You listen to the KVA, 50 KVA generator, PVC pipes, you name all those things. In fact, you even listen to the hearing that was held at the House Standing Committee on Expenditure on Carry budget. And I think my boss were even in that hearing. It went viral all over. So being that I wasn't a signatory, being the head of the program, I had to play my role and write the entity. And because of that, well, we had to get Dr. Joma out of here. And that's how they purported this plan, that Dr. Joma forced her signature and made away with 10,000 Liberian dollars. And so we need to get me out of here. So I was given a letter.
What is your work record? Now, given a letter, you purported information came about. Give us about some information about your work record, because I did some digging about some years back on the previous administrators and all of that. You know, some communications here in my position don't seem that Dr. Nyakwe Joma, as professional as one would expect him to be, you know, is a professional, has good professional work ethics.
Yeah.
Tell us about your work habit.
Well, I have a very decent work habit. But however, I listen to my boss, Honorable Simo, sometimes Thursday, and this not the first time. I mean, for him, he's the first time measuring this. But for other other persons that have issues, like Madam Paulette Finlay, and the other previous director, they talk about these things. People talk about it.
Like what? What do they talk about?
And well, they brought up the issue at the Justice Ministry that what he brought out, that Dr. Joma was there 2012. He had issue with Aaron Marshall. He fought this person. He fought that person. But let me say this, and let me be clear. The records are there. Currently, there is a document in my possession where the Carry Record Association is already, you already have it. They are communication requesting the House Standing Committee on Agriculture, look, please come to Carry. We want some reforms. The office of the HR.
So I asked about your work habit.
Yeah.
You know, some people talk about things that you know, people say some things. Now,
yes.
I want you to take a look at a few communications quickly.
Yeah.
Do you recognize this? Told that on the 29th of July, 2019, you received some $10,000 to do some purchase of, you know, food, feeding to feed the, you know, animals, some 20 bags, you know, and all of that.
Yeah.
But is it this money? Did you use this one expeditiously? Was it properly used?
Well, there were two monies that were received. The first 10,000 and the second 10,000. And the invoices are there. And this is not new to me. They've been over and over, and we even went to court. We went to court for this. It has been adjudicated. And I believe you don't have that in your file.
But back in 2012, sir.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to, you know, remind you of something. Honor Aaron Marshall. I don't know whether you can attest to this communication here.
Yeah.
From Nyakwe D. Joma, finance officer. You were the finance officer at the time.
Yes, I was the head.
2012.
Exactly.
Can you read this communication? What it says here? What you are saying here below?
I saw this.
May I just read it for you?
But I saw this
It says
communication.
here, I, the undersigned, Nyakwe D. Joma, have unanimously been effecting payments to employees of the Central Agricultural Research Institute on signed payroll August 2011 to March 2012 without the consent of the team leader. In so doing, I view my action irresponsible and complete contrary to best financial management practices, and therefore fully take responsibility of the consequences thereof. Is this your signature, sir?
No, that is not.
This is not your signature?
No, this is not. But however,
can we compare something,
Yeah.
you know, quickly?
can we? Okay.
Yeah, so I'm looking at that signature and this one here that you signed for. Are you the one that signed for this money? Some look at this check. Look at this.
Yes.
So
Yes.
which signature here?
Yeah.
Is this your signature?
Yeah, that's me.
Are these two not the same?
Definitely
They're
not.
not.
Definitely
They're
not.
not the same
No.
signatures.
No, they are not
They
the
look
same.
the same to me.
They may look the same. But however, let me address this.
Yeah.
Let me address this. Is beautiful. This is the second time I'm hearing this, because Madam Finde brought this when we met with the Justice Minister, and this was my first time seeing this.
Your first time seeing
My
this.
first time seeing this. So, however, let the Liberian people judge.
So you want to tell me that Honorable Marshall, if I contact him now, he may not be able to, admit to this particular communication?
Well, the best you can do is to contact him. But the best that you can do, and it will be good for Sky Communications and the Liberian people who are listening. This has long been done with. But the best you can do, forensic study
of the document.
Exactly. When Paula Finley brought this to me, let me hold this to the camera. In the office of the Justice Minister, along with Councillor Tiawun Gongolo, Reverend Jess Kennedy G, Robert Jute, and others, with Musa Dean, who presided. And I said it there, it was clear, even though they catch it because we were talking on current issue and they were so
in the absence of a forensic, study of these documents, they're not authentic. You don't
exactly.
consider them
Let me just learn
documents.
Labindi. So forensic study will tell you if your signature is here, you sign something, your prints will remain there for years. And prepare, as I said before, in the office of the Justice Minister, let's go and do a forensic audit and see whether this is Dr. Joma's signature, whether my prints are there.
In short, you don't have bar records at Kari. The only thing Kari is the one that owes you $30,000.
No,
let's get to that point.
I don't have bad records. However, for people to change, is very, very difficult to institute a change. And
what do you mean?
Well, I've been asking for reforms.
What specific reforms do you seek at Kari?
One, the office of the OIC or Director General should be a tenure system. Because when it's a tenure system, you're not going to have anybody outside meddling in the office. And the offices of all succeeding heads or directors of programs, 2 years. The Director General, 3 years. But it's not the case.
How is that affecting the smooth operation of Kari?
Well, sometimes my honorable directors that have been here previously, from Paula Finley and Marcus Jones, coming to Dr. Victor Sumo, they want to do the best they can. I mean, that is a fact. But it's difficult because most often they say, well, we are sitting in the seat of being a presidential appointee is a political seat.
Is that how you got affected because of that lack of reform?
Well, it's not a lack of reform, basically because mainly, one, there was some cattle that came about, and I said, well, the lawmaker, it was Henry Yala. I said, the lawmaker, let him come to sign this document. And my boss at that time said, you don't expect a lawmaker. The letters are there because they went 2 days before. You don't expect a lawmaker to come to Kari.
So people were taking cattle from Kari without.
No. The lawmaker wanted to bring cattle into Kari. And I said, well, I did an MOU, a memorandum of understanding that protects Kari and protects the client. It doesn't necessarily have to be the lawmaker, but the madam was not happy with that. And that was one basis too. And she told, I think the caucus said, well, Dr. Joma is so difficult to deal with and blah, blah, blah. And then the one that really broke the back of the camel was the $500,000 United States dollars that I wrote B Hell about. And so that broke the back of the camel.
So things were happening that you didn't like the way they were proceeding. You were basically calling them to order. That's how you got in serious trouble.
That's how I called that. That's the reason why I got into.
You mentioned Marvin Cole also some time ago.
Yeah, Honorable Cole, he went there once or twice for cattle. And I said, well, these cattle must be paid for. Because the reason why I did this, Labindi, is because Liberia comes first. We want to see Kari to be the first.
So with all these things,
with
all these things you've explained, sir, these are major issues that that got you in little trouble with some of with Madam Finley particularly. Madam
Finley. So now she withheld my salary from October up to quite recent. And I must congratulate and say thank you to Honorable Simo. He has been working exceedingly hard. It was through him I was able to get paid for April, May, June, and along with other top government officials that intervene and human rights institutions, they have done extremely well. And I appreciate that.
You've not been paid for July.
No, I've not been paid for July.
Okay.
But let me just conclude on this matter.
Yeah.
Let Liberian people judge if indeed, if it was Dr. Joma who signed this, because they say I did payroll pardon, I had my wife, my daughter on the payroll. Tell me, that is a financial impropriety, is a crime. So tell me, if indeed this was true.
So this is not your testimony?
No, tell me, it's not. If this was true, Labindi and the Liberian people out there, why is Dr. Joma still at Kari? That's a question someone should ask. Because if I commit a crime, public finance, it's against the Public Finance Management Act of 2009. And I went and passed payroll. This is my second time seeing this. Madam Finlay presented this, and the Justice Minister just put it one side.
But you know, the question you asked, Madam Finlay, for example, reportedly saw some of the things that belong to Carey. You know, something she's on record for.
Yeah.
She's back in the United States. So even you did this, your presence at Carey wouldn't change anything that, well, this is a normal thing in Liberia. But I would like for us to move on quickly to Dr. Small and get back to you. Dr. Small, welcome once again. You are in charge. Most of the problems that Dr. Nyako Joma is talking about are problems that happened before you enter Carey. How did you take your seat when you took over Carey?
And so, I'm aware of the problems before I could move to Carey. I met with the two houses, the upper house and lower house. And the Carey Workers Association had given me some petition, stated most of the problems and proposed solutions that they wanted, just in case I get it. When I got it, when I was at the legislature, I had a call that Dr. Joma was a Carey, and the complainant was telling me that Joma was not there before, but upon hearing that I was appointed, he went there, and some kind of confusion. But I called Joma directly because sometimes some of those things can be rumor. And I tried to talk to him and said, Joma, what's all your point is keep your cool until I can come. And so I went to Carey. When I went to Carey, of course, Joma has been beyond this thing. He was anxious. He wanted a solution to his problem. And I couldn't just give speedy judgment how to go in, record the history and see what the situation was at Carey. And so I told Dr. Joma, let me go through your files. But there are a lot of things I made there. Actually, I took up two cases.
Okay.
One for Dr. Joma and one for one winner. Because the two guys were dismissed and I knew it was like a family issue, bread on the table. And so I said, let me address this one. The other ones, will the people generator or what, that one, I'll come to you later if I get funny, but I don't want to get myself caught up in some legal process and then get distracted to not bring about the fix that I want to. And so I took the issue of Joma and winner. And the letter you see, yes, I don't know, but I met these things in Joma's file. Joma is saying he has not seen them. He only saw it the first time when Paulette brought it up. But it was brought up under the administration of Mr. Marshall, not Paulette, and he'll be on the file. And what I try to do here in history, I try to establish as to whether, because Joma keeps making this case, actually, that somebody is planting something in his file, somebody wants to get him out of Carey because he stopped 500,000 from coming, and this and that. And so I went to the record, and the record was telling me something different, actually.
About him?
Yeah, about him. And so that made his case difficult for me. And so I had to go to further investigation. He was establishing himself as this, and the record was saying, in fact, he was doing payroll tampering. I got almost 5 warning letters here. Shirking work, I mean, going in and signing in, and then leaving and going by your private business. He has a course, and I was lucky to become the Director General, Marcus Jones. Gave him 2 suspension letters on that. There's another letter Malak Jones wrote him. He insulted one, Abibatu Kroma. She's the head of our value addition unit. He came to her ears and said something. And according to the investigation launch, that people didn't hear what he said, but she was crying. And he was kind of asking people, did people hear anything and this and that? But those are things I met on the file, and I had to really go into before making decision. And that the record on the book was telling me something different. And I told Joma, look, I got to send this thing to the Grievance and Ethics Committee to investigate it and advise me further. But what I want for you and when is you guys just leave from Carey for 1 or 2 weeks, but leave from here.
Okay. So
that I can do the investigation with the committee. They can recommend something to me. And then if I make a decision, we'll have weight. That means I made a decision after launching an investigation.
Yeah.
But when I agreed to leave, but Dr. Joma did I agree? He wanted his issues addressed. In addition to that, Joma also brought to me a document that said a lot of items were missing from his apartment, also from his room, the house given in Carey. And all of those things I had to investigate, and I needed them to give me room. And so I was not able to go into the investigation and establish what I was supposed to establish or take the actions I needed to take because he did not give me the room. But for Wenner, I established the investigation and I got a requisite recommendation and I took action and I reinstated Wenner. But what's important for me is actually going forward. My job is to manage all of our employees at Carey and to guide in the way that they become productive people. Because, the labor problem is an economic problem. If you're paying people and they're not performing, then it becomes a crisis. If you don't have a productive labor force, of course, you can generate the kind of money to do the kind of development you want to do. And that's my job, to manage them. And so I still try to find a way around it. We try to convince Joma to leave, and so that we can launch an investigation. It was not happening. And then at a certain point, I said, no, I'm not going to launch an investigation if this guy can take out of me. Just see, let me give him the chance to prove. And that carried that thing for long, almost after some months before the intervention of Eugene Fagon, the pastor you just mentioned, other people, before they came in. And we met at Fagon's office, including Joma's lawyer. And then we tried to arrange something around the round table. But that gave birth to the just recent contract I gave Joma. And I gave my word to Fagon and the people in the committee, and also to Honorable Councillor
Gongolo.
Yeah. I told them, I said, this thing, we have to find a way to solve it.
Yes, get closer.
And my thing is not to destroy a guy, but how to manage them as best as I can.
Yeah.
To make them a kind of people that can contribute to the society and that they belong to. And so I even told Tiawan Government and other guys, Fargo, and I said, even if the contract elapses, and I will still fight hard to keep Joma, and especially my one Dance Johnson, on board until we can reach December of 2021.
But Dr. Smo, sorry. Why do you maybe making all of these interventions? And so Joma has a major issue that he keeps saying. The institution owes him $30,000 and all of that. Well, there's been intervention made. The minister Fagon came in.
Let me tell you,
what's the position?
On our law, when you are dismissed, you don't get paid. Maybe most people don't know.
But was his dismissal legitimate?
Legitimate, of course. Except
you saw the letter. You saw the dismissal letter, because Joma said he did not receive any dismissal letter.
Okay, what I have here is a dismissal letter, and Joma is copied, and many board members.
Did you receive a copy of the letter,
the
Dr. Joma?
No, I did not.
You did not receive any dismissal letter?
Nothing. And the justice minister even said that. No, you can't say. Even Fagon ordered them. But I said this. Just put it into the folder.
This is email to Joma. This is email. This is Joma here, and his name is here first. This is an email. Maybe I don't know.
Vanessa Kong is the human resource.
Human resource. And this is an email,
and she copied this to Joma. CC copied Paulette Finlay, and so on. So, Dr. Joma, you did not receive a dismissal letter.
No.
Dated September 2019.
I did not.
And that is why Joma told me the same thing. And that is why when I got to Carrie, I decided to establish it so that Joma can be aware. It seems Joma wasn't aware of the situation. This is why he was asking for payment. Because I'm sure that if Joma was aware that he was dismissed, he would not ask people to pay him. And so I established that. I printed it out and I said, Joma, this is the reason why you have not been paid. Our budget is a law. You have to follow the budget as a legal document signed by the president. And if a man's name is not on payroll, you dare to pay and see what the consequence. You'll be breaching the law.
So what's the way forward? Dr. Joma should forfeit this $30,000 he's claiming because of this dismissal letter that he's also saying is not legitimate because no one gave him a dismissal letter. And you took over. How did you investigate to come to the conclusion that he was actually dismissed by law?
And this is what you and myself, Carrie has, look, Joma is a human being. He has rights, and I respect his right. And Joma is making his case, and I respect that also.
Yeah.
I want the public to know that this is a country for laws, and we operate under the rule of law. And if there's anything that Joma is dissatisfied with, look, Joma and his lawyer can take this thing to court, and it can be addressed. If there's a ruling that comes to me and say, look, Carrie dismissed Joma illegally and he should be paid, I'm willing to follow that. And so that is with Joma and his lawyer. And my focus is actually on the way forward and how we can. But is
there a best administrative practice on your part as well? Having you accepted this communication that yes, this man was dismissed due to some reasons and so on, financial malpractices and so, but yet you give this man contract. Under what law did you do that?
I told you before, roundtable arrangement is not a legal thing. When statesmen come, when pastors, when his own lawyer is sitting down and they come to beg an institution and say, let's find a way out of it outside the legal process.
His lawyers pleaded?
Oh, his lawyer was
for
there.
him?
His
For
lawyer
him?
was on. Yeah, he was in the discussion with Eugene Falcon. His lawyer was there, one Johnson also. And so, what I'm saying, if Joma wants to follow the thing up in court, he has the right to do so, and he should, because
you're encouraging him to do so.
Yeah. To answer your question, every document, not just this document, but every document that I made in Joma's file, I believe the document, I believe in their legality, I believe they are true. Not just this, but every document.
Why? You saw that you saw some of the things stated by him manifested in his action.
In my own judgment, and you, the journalists, and maybe the numbers, the contacts I give you, you will do your own work and see what truth can be further on what I'm saying. But I told you, I'll give you the contacts of the subsequent directors that interacted with Joma, from which we had his documents placed in his file. And I'm not saying this just for myself. I'm also saying the media and people that are concerned, the human rights people, and should also follow up, ask them, is it really true some point in time when Joma was in Kari that he tampered with payroll and he was demoted from controller to just some other position? Is it true? We have to do that work. The media has to do that work. And then we have to also follow up and say, is it true that Joma was suspended by one Marcus Jones?
I have the suspension letter here.
Not just having it.
Suspension from work for staging an embarrassing commotion at the main offices of Kari on August 7,
I said 5 of them. On our law, on our labor law, 3 suspensions. For a 2-3rd one, you don't need a job. You are out. But the truth is, what I'm saying here, whatsoever Joma has been saying, and what I sing as an established record of Joma, there's a big discord. They didn't agree. Joma is the guy, is supposed to be the good guy, stopping 500,000 from coming because of that reason. And then the record is saying something different. And I'm saying again, I believe this record, except Joma and his lawyers can disprove this. But this is an institutional record. It's an institute that I had, and I believe this record. And this record, by all the contacts I gave you, if you can follow up, you will have a better sense as to whether they are true or not.
Before we get back to Joma quickly, sir. So this issue of the money, the $500,000, close to $1 million or $500,000, that Dr. Joma reportedly stopped from coming to Kari. What do you know about it? Has the money come or not?
I also made a story.
Be heard.
My thing is, I got documents. When I talk, I don't just talk. I got documents that the money came, and it was not 500,000. It was the money in the sum of 159,000.
Okay. From Behead?
From Behead.
You have document to show that Behead sent the money?
Yeah, I have document.
Even though Dr. Joma did not affix a signature to the
account? Yes, I have. I have document. I have a document. I read something on it. Kari received that money, and they received 2 installments of it, 20 each. The second 20 they received, it was one common controller that stole the money out of the accounts. One Joe Amara. He took that money, but the money came.
The one that ran away.
Yeah, the money came, and it was not 500,000 to establish the record. It was 159,000. And
you trust that? You also trust that document?
I trust the document. I trust the information. Yeah,
he's right. Let me come. He's right.
Yeah, please.
Everything I'm saying is right.
No, that's right about that.
So lastly from your end, before I hear from Dr. Joma and corroborate a few other information, what is the way forward? So, with all these things you've explained, you are alluding to some of the information here that you received, that you met in Joma's file. You trust the authenticity of the document and all of that. Dr. Joma is claiming $30,000 that the entity owes him. You are saying Dr. Joma should go to court. In the absence of the court, what is your best advice for Dr. Joma?
Look, my best advice for Dr. Joma would be, look, this thing is nothing to cause noise about. Seek sympathy about.
He's seeking sympathy? You think so?
Of course, because there's a legal route lying down. And this a young man claiming that we owe him 30,000, the institution owes him 30,000. My best advice would be take legal action against the institution. You and your lawyers. It's an abuse of your right, if this thing is true. It's inhuman. It should not happen. But as I sit here at the head of Kari, my sense is this is a different thing. That's not the case. By these documents I'm seeing here, I'm showing here, the story is different. And this is why I think Carrie has a very strong case. In fact, besides that,
against Dr. Juma.
oh yeah, there is a police report attached to this thing. That there's a police investigation, and the police is making recommendations based on what Juma told them. And Juma was not just fired for stealing some 10,000, but in that police report, there's also an information that says Juma took away things like this. You see this, and he refused to bring. Have you read the dismissal letter? If you read, they will say, in addition to the 10,000, he took these things, and time over time again they informed him, and he refused to bring them. And they said they have given him warning over and over. It's not just one instance. I don't know. But also why I believe all the things, I see consistency in Joma's work behavior from one administration to another.
Consistency?
Consistency.
What do you mean, sir?
I see either Joma is infringing the rules according to them.
So did you mean to say inconsistency in his job or
I said consistency.
Yeah, please.
If I say consistency, I mean consistency in his malpractice at job.
Okay, from one administrator to another administrator,
yeah.
records.
They are giving record that he's not taking it serious. He goes to work, he signs, he runs away.
Did you see that during your administration? Because you hired him for 3 months.
Look, as of late, Joma is my witness. I don't go far. We have had this tete-a-tete over and over. In fact, after I paid him for the past 3 months, for April to June, I told him, Joma, I paid Joma on a contractual agreement without Joma giving me one report for the 3 months.
For the 3 months.
For the 3 months.
But you paid him. That makes you two have some lapses in your administrative procedure.
I am not just the administrator of Carrie. I'm addressing a conflict resolution.
Why pay a man that does not give you a report for the job that he's doing within 3 months?
And this is where we are going. This is where we are going. And so I made a commitment. Okay, Joma will say, okay, I didn't have this, I didn't have that. Carrie, we don't have that luxury, to give everybody what they need. And so I don't want to go into that back and forth. But what I established for Joma, and I told him is that going forward from July, you have to come up to the tax, you have to do your job.
Okay.
You have to be the kind of guy I want you to be. And that is part of my job, not to destroy people. People can make mistakes, but we can stay, bring them on board, and if they can follow up and learn from their mistakes. And that is my concern, the way forward. Not to destroy him.
Thank you so much, Dr. Joma. You listened to Dr.
Indeed,
Smo very well. Your boss now.
Yes, he's my
saying,
boss.
And all of that. There are a lot of things.
And a very good friend also.
I have a lot of reports here about you.
Yeah.
A lot of complaints from previous administrators. I would just quickly call Dr. John to put him on, but let me get some clarity from you.
Yeah.
You are raising a number of allegations against the institution. I've suggested to you on this very program that Dr. Joma, why not go to court? Now your boss is saying to you, the issue of the $30,000 that Dr. Joma is claiming, for him, he has nothing to do with that. If Dr. Joma claims that Carrie owes him $30,000, he should go to court. Why do you still keep protesting and not taking the legal, step?
Well, it's simple. But before I go to that, let me just address the issue of the behead, where he was correct about, I think, 120,000 came in. It was not the $500,000 because
that was a different money.
No, that was different money because what behead
from behead.
Behead said, look, since Dr. Joma have written this letter yet, we will not give the $500,000. But how
much of the money in total that you people were expecting from behead?
The money was about $475,850 for construction of fish pond. But listen now,
out of that money, 120,000 came.
No, listen. I'm not saying out of that money did not come. But what behead did, because at that time, after Carrie pleaded, they said, okay, we'll try we'll see. And how come they gave just 120,000.
You never told me about that.
Because he brought that. It wasn't relevant.
It wasn't relevant. Documents when he's talking.
Let me just finish.
Okay,
frankly.
Yeah, please.
Let me just finish. It wasn't.
There's another thing. There's another thing. There's another thing. Also, I would like to agree with Dr. Smo. Dr. Smo is here. He's backing everything he's saying with documentary evidence.
Yeah.
Now you're talking about all the time we've been having a conversation with you. You've never said to me about any money that came from behead. The only thing you've said repeatedly is that you made close to $1 million
to be saved.
To be saved.
Yes.
You never said anything about the money that came. So why was that insignificant, to you?
That is of no relevance.
What for? And the very company that says it's not going to send money because Dr. Joma did not affix his signature.
The very company, after I wrote behead and said, well, because I'm not a secretary and because of ABC, so I'm not a part of it. So BIA said, okay, we'll hold that money. So there was some vermiculture project that was done. And BIA, because BIA has colors to carry, they supported them. So that's how they send that little money. But it had nothing to do with the fish pond. Dr. Simo, he asked me now, the fish pond was never constructed. The tunnel of fish farmer was never carried out. None of them were carried out.
And the money was squandered.
Oh, no, money did not come. The
$120,000.
No, I don't know about that.
You don't know how that was used.
I don't know how that was used. How that was used.
Why didn't you give it some attention?
He was just throwing two differences between the money of 500,000 and the 125,000. But the 500,000 did not come. So 125 wasn't of any relevance. So I had no business to say anything about that.
Mm-hmm.
So, however, let me address this issue why I can't go to court. Tell me, Labindi, and Liberian people out there are looking. This is not the first time we have gone through this. Other institutions have gone through it along with even Minister Fagon even said went through this whole thing. He told you the whole issue.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me, if Dr. Joma did A, B, C, D, everything that was wrong, why am I still an employee of Carey? I went and did payroll padding. I put my daughters on it. I stole money. But yet I said that Dr. Joma stay in a comfortable position. It tells you that something somewhere is wrong down there.
So you see, it's a give and take. That you are seeing some things going on, and you two have your own attitudes. So they are considering you at Carey because they don't want you to expose them on some things or what?
Well, I wouldn't want to put it that way. But you have.
Why do you think why do you think you're so precious to Carey that despite these reports you're still there?
Well, because any institution where the rule of law falters, that institution is in trouble. And I've always subscribed to the rule of law, and that is the reason why Jesus Christ in heaven first, and second, the rule of law is there.
What was the
so it's just difficult.
What was your relationship with Martin? Not Martin, but Dr. Marcus Jones.
Oh, Marcus
T. Jones. I have this letter. Do you know about this letter dated 9 August 2018?
Yes, I do know.
You receive it?
No.
Were you suspended?
No, I'm coming. This identical letter was given to me. I did not. I can't remember signing for that letter. But what I did do, and I can say this clearly, do you, before we go to this, do you have a copy of Dr. Sumo's folder where this court recommendation is there? Do you have a copy? Did Dr. Sumo give you a copy? He did not.
Of the court recommendations?
Yes, from the court telling you that Dr. Joma hadn't done anything wrong. We found something and we discharged.
What date is that? August, that's May 2020.
Yeah,
May 8,
2020. May 10 court 2020. Do you have it? Did he give it to you? Do you have it?
What did he say? No, I don't have that. So
you see that I'm telling you. So even at that identical letter, I did a rebuttal. I guess and I even said in the folder. And I also have you I sent to your box and that others the letter that came from the association. The workers association. I think Dr. Sumo, I think he has that letter where we made recommendation because people folder who got dissenting views, their folders were tampered with and a lot of filth were put in there.
So when you are critical at Carey, they tend to create a situation, build a case against you and insert it in your
Definitely,
folder.
that only me.
So that's why you people are suggesting that the human resource department be reformed.
Exactly. Did Jukbenangwe was done to them? Edmond Kogbe, he said, well, who have raised this issue? We told him, he said, well, on that letter, it was sent to the Senate. Not once, not twice. We even give a copy to Dr. Sumo. He has a copy in there.
So where are we, Dr. Joma?
So
where are we now?
So where we are now, the question here is, Dr. Joma had done all the wrong at Carey. Why is Dr. Joma still an employee of Carey?
Do you deserve $30,000? Do you deserve that money?
Indeed, I do. And that's the reason why I'm not going to go to court.
Why?
That's the reason.
Why?
Tell me, Dr. Sumo has done so well to have me paid. Some officials of government, including Other McGill.
He may not pay you again because now that he's come on the radio to justify, to provide some information, given that this man was dismissed from Carey, even the fact that he's rehiring you, giving you contracts and things, I'm kind of concerned on what basis is he doing that? Why is he having empathy over you despite your dismissal?
As simple as ABC 1, 2, 3. Dr. Sumo claims, the letter in there that my boss brought, that Dr. Joma was dismissed for stealing 10,000 Liberian dollars, for tampering, for taking water pump, and blah, 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 blah. So tell me, that's what they say, right? Now tell me now, how we should subscribe to the rule of law. This letter here, you see, Dr. Sumo did not present this to you, did he? So let me just read it quickly. It says here, in the Ninth Judicial Circuit Court, Bangai Bon County, like Provo Liberia, AD 2020 term of code. Do you have that with you? Did someone present that?
No.
Oh, he did
No,
that.
I don't have that. We have
Of course.
Dr. Marcus. We have Dr. Marcus Jones on the line. I would like to quickly hear from Dr. Marcus Jones, who is also one of your former bosses. Dr. Jones, good afternoon. Welcome to Nothing to Hide.
Yeah, okay, thank you. And sorry.
Yes, sir.
Hello?
Yes, sir. Go ahead. Dr. Jones, go ahead. You're live.
Okay. Well, they carry issue, yes, and nobody don't like to talk about carry since I left, but me, my good friend said, you asked me politely, to respond to this, I will do. Yeah, Joma, they made Joma and Paula fought.
So Joma was dismissed.
And he walked to Joma was dismissed. And he says, instead of dismissed a woman, and he came back to me and said, cause, that's my cause. Cause you have to pay me. I said, no, they're not family business running here. That's not possible. So he said, okay, I'll run to court. And he will see. I said, yeah, please do. We have a lawyer. And he's quite to running to, I don't know the contact he really has with all the lawyers, But yes, my brother tried to find something else to do. But to be frank, Joma has been in that habit. Myself saw those documents, Aaron Marshall has some, record against him about going in people far, I saw all of that, So I told him, Joma, you went to school, let's focus on how we can all transform this place.
Dr. Jones.
I've done a lot for us, but then all of us. Yes.
Dr. Jones, in 2018, August 9, to suspend Dr. Joma for stating an embarrassing commotion at the main offices of CARI on the 7th of August?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
so
my administration did, yes.
Your administration did.
And
Dr. Jones, can you also confirm?
If I did a rebuttal.
Can you confirm? Can you confirm also that Dr. Joma was he received a warning letter for constant shacking work on the 6th of June 2019 under your administration? I have a communication here.
He wasn't there.
Yes.
You can
confirm.
Okay, so this one here, Dr. Joma, you received this communication.
June 2019.
June 2019.
Yeah.
You received this communication, right? Okay.
Let's see.
This is an indication. Now, yeah,
no,
quickly, sir.
No. I didn't receive it, you see?
You didn't receive
No,
this?
you see, I wrote there.
You refused to take
That's what he said.
All right.
I always say he refused to take, but he received them, my friend.
He received the communications. So Dr. Jones, quickly, sir, did you receive rebuttal communications from Dr. Joma when you suspended him in 2018, August 9?
I'm not aware. I'm not aware of that. Maybe different doctor. I'm not aware of that.
So what is the way forward, Dr. Jones? Quickly.
I think Joma should just leave that CARI, whole CARI. Find something else to do. He's an educated man. He's a smart, who has a PhD in a very marketable, very important field. So let him find something else to do and leave this guy. Just imagine since 2012. Since 2012, there have been issues with Joma and CARI. Joma find something else to do. Remember, I left CARI. You called me 1 or 2 times. I told you, for me, I'm a young man. I think I should move on. So find a way and move on. That's my advice.
Okay. Thank you so much, Dr. Marcus Jones. There, he's the former director of CARI.
Okay.
Quickly, just get in, make a point.
I'm so sorry.
Let me just get on the line.
Yeah. He's the former. He's my cousin. Okay, and the whole incident of this, it was the same Paulette Finlay.
You did not receive of this suspension.
I did not receive it.
And now
the other, I did a rebuttal. He
was saying that he did not receive the rebuttal.
You see it. I was telling you.
Let me finish the contents.
Let me just finish. Let me just finish. The issue here is. Here are the issues. Whenever anybody, if you want reform, you want institute good governance, you're always taking it back. And that's have been my problem.
That's your problem.
That's my problem. Now, listen, let me just conclude on this. This is a letter. I know, you see,
The record is not saying that. The record is not saying it.
Excuse me.
You know, it's
That Simbo did not give you this. You see, what I tell you?
The code record,
He
right?
did not give you it. So let me just read it.
What is the meat in that particular thing?
They are saying,
you know, yeah.
Because they are, my boss just brought a letter to you that Dr. Joma was dismissed and blah, 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 so we can't pay him. But yeah, what the court is saying now. The court is saying the theft of property, the misapplication, and the $10,000 and what have you, they are saying this is to satisfy that the above title cause of action, theft of property, misapplication, and blah, 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 against the defendant, Dr. Joma, in the National Judicial Circuit Court has been dismissed based upon the will. And that was August 2020. You see that based upon the will of information filed before the court for the dismissal of the action of the prosecution. Somebody did not show you this. The case was dismissed by the court without prejudice. Tell me, you said that Joma stole 10,000, you stole water pump. The proof of the burden rests with the accuser. And until Liberian people begin to stand up and do the right thing, you will all be persecuted what I'm going through. But however, I don't think I'm concluding now, but however, I want to make this plea. Honorable Sumo have been very much helpful. He's a very good friend of mine since 2011. I met him there at Cary. In fact, it was through his instrumentality and that Honorable McGill, I was able to get some of my money. So if you say you will dismiss me, I'm not supposed to be at Cary, but now I got my residence there, I live there, I'm back at Cary, you're paying me. Is it not prudent that you pay me my $30,000
after you were dismissed and out of sympathy you were brought back and
not out of sympathy
because that's what I'm getting from Dr.
Eugene Fagon went through the investigation.
Out of sympathy.
Eugene Fagon went to.
That's what Dr. Smo is saying. That it's out of sympathy that you got 3 months contract.
He and his lawyers are begging.
He could ignore the fact that there's no need for us to give Dr. Smo anything now because of this letter alone shows that Dr. Smo should have no business with you because you have been dismissed from the institution for these reasons.
Exactly. So
why is he doing business with you? Don't you think he's risking his own position as well?
No, Dr. Sumo, he's a presidential appointee. He's not risking his own decision.
Okay.
Dr. Sumo, he's doing the best he can. Look, Dr. Sumo is a very good friend of mine. He's
so
a very good friend of
so
mine.
What's the way forward with $30,000?
I think Dr. Sumo is just trying to play safe and to avoid some issues. He's a very good man. He's my friend.
What is
the way forward?
Yeah.
Is it good that the government lost $3 million? Or is it better that you owe Dr. Joma?
You're going to file a $3 million damage?
Well, I don't want to do that. And that's the reason
why. But this may put you to doing it.
No, I'm not even going to do that because I know Dr. Sumo was very generous to have helped me get 3 months money.
Okay.
I know at the end of the day, he will see reason because then the court paper, the court said that Joma didn't do anything. So the thing he said that Joma did, the court said they're not true. So
that's
it's not clear that you pay the man's money. The rule of law must suffice. So I want to be much. I'm appealing to Dr. Sumo, and I also appeal to Honorable McGill. They have been very much generous to have been paid.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Please let them consider me. Because I have to pay my debt. I'm obligated, and I can work.
I think there's the sympathy part of it that Dr. Sumo said you're seeking. Now he's saying to you, sir, I cannot give you $30,000. You don't expect me to go looking for $30,000 with this particular letter on my decks. Even the fact that I brought you on board to give you 3 months contract is out of sympathy, based on the fact that you're an educated person. I don't intend to trash everything you've labored for. So with all these points stated, to appeal to Dr. Sumo to pay you, don't you think Dr. Sumo may just be putting himself in more trouble because of you? Or don't you think the court is the best place now to go back to?
I'm an employee of Cary. We don't want to use.
When you are dismissed, you cease to be an employee.
I wasn't dismissed.
Okay.
I wasn't dismissed.
Let me hold on.
Is my signature there?
On the dismissal letter?
No, my signature's not there. Yes, a letter that
you signed to receive. When you receive a letter, you sign, but not on the letter. No, by the way, let me just quickly hear from a few persons. Call us on the numbers 0277 107, 0277 221 223. Are the numbers you can call us on to participate in the program. Dr. Marcus Jones is saying, Dr. Joma, please just let go of Cary and do something else. That's a suggestion. Let's hear from this person. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Matthias.
Good afternoon, sir. Let's hear you.
This is Samson Capper
Mr. Copper, we have limited time. Please go ahead straight. Make your point.
Yeah. What is happening is still there. All of these both people, I've got both people, doctor to doctor, from doctor. They are not telling the truth.
What do you mean?
Because, what I mean is that if Juma was dismissed, they sent that dismissal letter to the partners, international partners.
Oh. What do you mean?
No, listen to me. The reason why I say it because Juma was looking at as a one to sign the letter for when you come. So if you said copy of that letter to international partners.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thanks for your contribution on the program this afternoon, Mr. Kape. The numbers are 077777107. Mr. Alhaji Abdullah Donso says, Dr. Victor, I think it was a wrong decision to bring this man back. Probably there's something that we don't know. You two call us on the numbers 077777107, 07777222123. The numbers you can call us on to participate. So as we wrap up, we have just 5 minutes to go. We have to wrap up quickly. Dr. Sumo, with these, now Dr. Juma is going to wrap up, close up finally. Dr. Sumo, with these, analysis that we've made and all the explanations, can we just squeeze in that one person, please, for the 5 seconds? Good afternoon.
Yes, sir, Matthias, how are you?
Fine, thank you.
I'm Omisi John. I'll be very okay again.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so the court is not interested in hearsay evidence. So all of what Dr. Sumo is saying and Dr. John Marcus, ask them, why did the court dismiss the case against Dr. Joma? They say that the government is weak.
Okay.
That's the only question I want to ask.
Okay. Thank you so much. That's a good one. We're going to get on this case again maybe some other time. But yeah, please quickly, let's hear from you, Dr. Sumo.
Let me just go in it.
Within a minute, please. We have to.
I wasn't there, but at the time that this Joma dismissal happened, it was on a Paula feeling. And that at the same time, Paula became so unpopular because of activities that were on Carrie.
Mm-hmm.
And when she took this case to court, and there are so many cases there besides this one on Joma. And the witnesses, the Carrie witnesses, especially those that wrote this complaint like Joma forged a signature, one they refused. All of them joined the kind of chorus to demonstrate against Paulette, and I think she had difficulty articulating the witnesses at the time. But to address this issue, Joma is saying that as soon as my friend is good, Look, it's one thing to say somebody is good. I don't take all of those praises like that. My job is to help change a group of people and manage it, and not to destroy them. I took the decision. In fact, I took a position. I told Joma I would not pay that money because he was dismissed. And if you think I should pay, you should go to court, and I remain on that position. What I'm doing, I'm accommodating Joma because people talk to me. Eugene Falcon, there was a panel set up to come and talk to me. They begged me. And because of that, it gives rise to
saying for the first 3 months.
Yeah, for the first 3 months.
And you've not paid him for July. Why?
He had a contract for 3 months. I paid him for 3 months.
So the 3 months expired?
Of course.
What, July?
April, May, and June.
Okay.
And so
currently he's not working. The contract expired, meaning he's not working now.
He's not working. Legally, he's not working. There's no document. There's no contract. There's no agreement. But this is not about destroying Joma. I always want to say that.
Okay.
This is about seeing how to find a fix and to have a united institution, a united country, and move forward. Okay. It's not about if I were bending on destroying Joma, believe me, with all these things, I will not sit down to talk to anybody. I'm hoping that he can change.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sumo. It's a pleasure having you. Dr. Joma, please.
Yeah. So let me just address it.
Just a minute.
Dr. Marcus Jones was dismissed by the president.
He was dismissed too.
He was dismissed by the president. And the letter that Dr. Jones is alluded to, Paula Finlay told him, if you don't do this letter, we'll get you from Carrie. So they did that letter. That did the rebuttal to that letter. Paula Finlay.
You say you did not receive the letter. How do you report something that you have not seen?
There was one that I received. There were 2 letters over there. I think the one said for creating and something at the office. I did receive that, and I did a rebuttal in 4 days' time.
Okay.
And Dr. Jones received it. I got that. I will send that. Just how Dr. Sumo did not send to you this letter code paper that is sent to Carrie. they took it out of the folder. That's just how they took that out of the folder.
We didn't take anything out of the folder.
So what's
not true.
So what's the way forward?
So the way forward, the way forward is this. Carrie owes me a sum of 18 months. I am an employee. I got my residence there. I go to office, I sign in. So I want to appeal. This is an appeal.
Why you always appealing? We're not here for sympathy. That's a legal matter. This appeal doesn't help, actually.
Okay. Let's hear you finally,
Yeah,
sir.
so I want to appeal because if this is a legal matter, then Dr. Jamal has to be a carry with all the crimes, the purported crime that Dr. Jamal committed. Why is he still there? So I want to appeal to my boss, Honorable Sumo. He has been very influential. He did well for me. And I also want to appeal to the national government, His Excellency. I did a letter to him and talked to Honorable Nathaniel McGill. They all were able to influence and talk to have me paid at least 3 months.
Okay.
So at least go file, because at the end of the day, we wouldn't want a situation where, okay, Dr. Jamal, people come in and they sue for something, $2-3 million.
And that's
Government doesn't have money.
That's what Dr. Smo is saying.
No,
Dr. Smo is saying that he should do.
The court is saying that Dr. Jamal hadn't done anything.
Okay.
Who are you to tell the court say that Dr. Jamal had done something?
Thank you so much. Thank
So
you.
it should be there. It should be going to court, not me.
Okay. Thank you so much, Dr. Juma and Dr. Smo. It's always a pleasure having a conversation with people here on this platform. And it was a pleasure having a conversation with these two doctors from the Central Agricultural Research Institute, Kari. 6 important guidelines about life. I just want to share with you quickly. If you are alone, mind your thoughts. When you are with friends, mind your tongue. When you are angry, mind your temper. When you are with a group, mind your behavior. When you are in trouble, mind your emotions. And lastly, when God starts blessing you, mind your ego. My name is Matthias Labindi.
Neighborhoods, registering names, and looking for people in their target list. There are already